I need to get something off my chest. I'm a mental health motivational speaker, and sometimes I cannot stand seeing the words motivational speaker next to my name. Seriously. It's not because I am ashamed of the work. I love connecting with an audience. I love watching someone recognize themselves in one of my stories and realize they're not alone. What bothers me is the word motivational because it makes a promise that no speaker can honestly keep. I cannot motivate you. No speaker can walk onto a stage, wave a magic wand, and inject motivation into hundreds of people. I can make you laugh. I can challenge your thinking. I can tell you the truth about my experiences with mental health. I can create a moment that moves you, but I cannot force you to change. And here's the irony. Most event attendees are not actually looking for motivation anyway. They want how to, they want strategy. They want to know what to do when they're overwhelmed on a Tuesday afternoon. They want to know how to start a difficult conversation. They want something more useful than believe in yourself, stay positive, or you've got this, or my favorite of all, if I can do it, you can do it. Those statements might sound good in the moment, but motivation is often a byproduct of action. Sometimes you have to take the first small step before you feel motivated to take the second one. That's why a great mental health motivational speaker should not just leave an audience feeling inspired. The speaker should help people do something. So if you are thinking about hiring a mental health motivational speaker, I want to give you 5 questions that go beyond the typical questions about credentials, presentation length, and availability. These questions will help you determine whether a speaker can deliver something deeper than an emotional high. Number 1, can a mental health motivational speaker actually motivate someone who does not want to change? Number 2, what will the speaker do with the people who roll their eyes at motivational speakers? Number 3, what will attendees be able to do after the presentation that they could not do before it? Number 4, can the speaker discuss painful experiences without leaving the audience emotionally exposed? And yes, I'm going to answer the question everyone eventually asks, how much does a mental health motivational speaker cost? My name is Mike Veny, and if you want to learn more about me, click the link in the description. Let's get into it. A speaker cannot force an audience member to care. We cannot make someone adopt a new habit, contact a therapist, use an employee assistance program, or have a conversation they have been avoiding. What we can do is create the conditions that make the first action feel possible. That begins with connection. Before people will consider your advice, they have to believe that you understand something about their lives. That does not mean the speaker needs to have the exact same diagnosis, job, background, or experience as everyone in the audience. It means the speaker must understand the emotions underneath those experiences. Fear, shame, anger, exhaustion, isolation, the feeling that everyone else received an instruction manual for life and somehow you missed the meeting. A great speaker earns the right to offer a strategy by making people feel seen first. 10 habits they must begin tomorrow, not an enormous personal transformation plan. One useful next step that lowers the barrier to getting started. That is where motivation can begin. When I speak, my goal is not to command people to change. My goal is to help them experience a moment of connection, give them language for what they are experiencing, and invite them to try something. Sometimes that invitation involves reflection. Sometimes it involves a conversation. Sometimes with me, it involves drumming and audience participation. The format can change, but the principle remains the same. Action creates opportunity for motivation to follow. Be cautious when a speaker promises to transform every person in the room. Human beings are more complicated than that. Look for a speaker who respects the audience's autonomy and knows how to make the first step feel practical. Question number 2, what will the speaker do with people who roll their eyes at motivational speakers at moment of transparency? I am one of those people. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Look, some people in the audience chose to attend your event. Others were told to attend. Some were excited about a mental health presentation. Others are sitting there thinking, I have work to do. Why am I listening to this? Some employees have heard their organization talk about wellness before, but they have not seen any meaningful changes. They may enter the room skeptical, frustrated, or completely exhausted by motivational messages. This does not make them a bad audience. In fact, their skepticism might be justified. A strong mental health motivational speaker should not shame people for being skeptical or demand that everyone display enthusiasm. The speaker should acknowledge what people may be feeling and earn their attention through relevance. This means no forced vulnerability, no asking people to disclose private mental health information in front of their colleagues, no diagnosing the audience, no pretending that a positive attitude will fix a toxic workplace, an unreasonable workload, or a serious mental health condition, the fastest way to lose a skeptical audience is to lecture them about what they should be doing. The fastest way to engage them is to give them something useful. A relatable story can lower their defenses. Humor can help people breathe. An interactive experience can interrupt their expectations. Practical strategy can demonstrate that the presentation respects their time. Ask a potential speaker this question directly. How do you engage people who did not choose to attend or who may be skeptical of motivational speakers? Listen carefully to the answer. If the speaker blames the audience for being resistant, that's a red flag. A professional speaker should have a thoughtful approach for earning attention without demanding participation. Question number 3, what will attendees be able to do after the presentation that they could not do before? Notice I did not ask what attendees will know. I asked, what will they be able to do? There's a big difference. An audience can learn the definition of burnout and still have no idea what to do about it. They can hear statistics about depression and still feel completely unprepared to approach a struggling colleague. They can applaud a powerful story and forget most of it by the following morning. Information is important, but information alone is not a strategy. Before hiring a mental health motivational speaker, ask for at least one specific example of a tool the audience will learn. Will attendees practice a simple emotional regulation exercise? Will managers learn how to begin a supportive conversation without trying to become a therapist? Will employees learn how to recognize when ordinary stress may require additional support? Will participants create a plan for using the mental health resources that are already available to them? Will the audience leave with a memorable framework they can apply during a difficult moment? A real how-to needs to be more than a list of inspirational ideas. It needs clear steps, an opportunity to practice, and a way to remember the strategy after the presentation. This is also where interaction becomes invaluable. Interaction should not be added simply to make the presentation entertaining. It should reinforce the learning. When people reflect, discuss, practice, move, or participate in a structured activity, they are doing more than just listening. They are beginning to apply the message. No mental health motivational speaker can eliminate burnout, transform an organization's culture, or heal someone's depression during a single presentation. But a speaker can help someone take one meaningful next step. That is an honest and valuable outcome. Question number 4, can the speaker discuss painful experiences without leaving the audience emotionally exposed? This question is not asked often enough. A dramatic personal story is not automatically an effective mental health presentation. Vulnerability without a purpose can become just emotional dumping. Graphic details can overwhelm people. A speaker can unintentionally reopen wounds and then leave the event planner to handle the emotional aftermath. And I've seen this happen. Mental health presentations should be moving, but they should also be responsible. Ask the speaker how they approach sensitive subjects such as suicide, trauma, addiction, grief, depression, and psychiatric hospitalization. Do they give the audience advance notice that sensitive material will be discussed? Do they avoid unnecessary graphic details? Do they make crisis and support resources easy to find? Do they clearly explain the presentation is educational and not a substitute for professional care? Can someone step out of the room without being embarrassed or singled out? Most importantly, ask this: what is your plan if an attendee becomes overwhelmed or shares that they are experiencing a crisis? The answer should involve coordination with you and your organization. Before the event, the speaker and planner should identify the appropriate resources depending on the setting. That might include an employee assistance program, counseling center in a college or campus resource, a local crisis service, designated staff member, or another qualified professional. A keynote speaker should not suddenly attempt to become someone's therapist. The speaker should respond with compassion, maintain appropriate boundaries, and connect the person with qualified support. Emotional safety does not mean removing every difficult subject from the presentation. It means discussing difficult subjects with care, purpose, and a clear path towards hope and help. The right personal story helps audience members feel less alone. It doesn't make them responsible for the speaker's healing. Question number 5. How much does it cost to hire a mental health motivational speaker, and what are you actually paying for? Professional mental health speaker fees vary significantly. Current industry listings show fees ranging from approximately $5,000 to $50,000 or more, depending on the speaker's experience, demand, credentials, event format, and level of customization. Emerging or local speakers may charge less. Highly established speakers, public figures, and speakers with specialized expertise may charge considerably more. By asking, what is your fee? That's only the beginning. A better question is, what does your fee include? Does it include a discovery call? Will the presentation be customized around your organization, audience, industry, and event goals? Are travel expenses included or billed separately? Will attendees receive a workbook, resource guide, book, online course, or follow-up content? Can the speaker participate in a panel, reception, book signing, leadership meeting, or question and answer session? Will the organization receive promotional materials before the event? What support is available after the presentation to reinforce the message? Those details determine the value of the engagement. You're not simply purchasing 45 or 60 minutes of someone talking. You are investing in the preparation, expertise, delivery, audience experience, and resources surrounding the presentation. The lowest fee is not automatically the best value, and the highest fee does not automatically guarantee the best fit. A less expensive speaker who delivers a generic presentation may leave your audience wonder why they attended. A more experienced speaker who understands your goals, prepares carefully, engages the room, and provides practical tools may create significantly more value. Books and continuing education courses can also be incorporated into some engagements, giving attendees a structured way to continue learning after the event. The real question is not simply, can we afford this speaker? It is, what are we trying to accomplish, and can the speaker help us move toward that outcome? So let's bring this back to the word motivational. I am a mental health motivational speaker. I understand it is the phrase people search for, and it's the title event planners recognize. But I do not believe my job is to manufacture motivation. My job is to tell the truth. My job is to make difficult conversations feel more approachable. My job is to offer a strategy that someone can use when life gets difficult. And my job is to help an audience take a first step, because that first step may create the motivation they have been waiting to feel. When you compare mental health motivational speakers, don't just ask which person has the most dramatic story, the most polished video, or the biggest social media following. Ask 5 deeper questions. 1, can the speaker create the conditions for action without promising to change people? Number 2, can they engage the people who do not want to be there? Number 3, what will attendees be able to do after the presentation? Number 4, can they discuss painful subjects responsibly? And 5, what does their fee actually include? Those answers will tell you much more than the words motivational speaker on a website ever could. Now, I would love to hear from you. When you attend a motivational presentation, what do you want most? Inspiration, practical strategies, or a combination of both? Let me know in the comments. And if you're considering bringing a mental health motivational speaker to your next event, you can download my speaker kit and learn more about me using the link in the description below. Now, all of this is great. But when it comes to hiring specifically a keynote speaker, because you might have an event and have multiple speakers doing breakout sessions, but when you hire a keynote speaker, that's a whole different thing. And that's why my next video is specifically about hiring a keynote speaker. I will put that video on the screen for you now. Click or tap it, and I will see you there. Also, if this video helped you, please click that like button, subscribe, and share it with an event planner who wants more than just another motivational speech.